Hey guys, this is Sammy with Translate Fishing, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to tie some fishing knots. Three fishing knots. If you're like I was a long time ago, if you're just now getting into fishing, I would go out and just tie a regular overhanded knot like you tie your shoelace with on too big of a hook on too small a line. Sometimes I get lucky and catch fish. This is back when I was 10, 12 years old. Sometimes I get lucky and catch a fish. Most of the time I would either lose my rig, lose a fish, get snagged, lose my hook, what have you. So if you're just getting started, or you're trying to teach your kids, or if you're a young person and you're trying to get started fishing, I'm going to show you how to tie some knots. First knot we're going to start with today. Before I start tying, let me explain something to you. I'm using 80-pound mono for the video. The reason I'm using 80-pound mono is because hopefully it's big enough where you guys can see it and see what I'm doing. I was going to use this yellow. Let me grab it real quick so you can see it. I was going to use this yellow shoestring. I have no idea what kind of shoe this could have possibly come out of, like Ronald McDonald's shoe or something. But this was in my house, so I don't, it's kind of strange. But anyway, I was going to use this and like a wire coat hanger to give the effect so that I make it really visible so you guys could see it. But unfortunately, when doing a polymer knot, this is a little abrasive. It's a little rough. It doesn't let the knot slide the way it needs to. So I have to go with the monofilament. So I grabbed the biggest kind I've got, 80 pound. Hopefully you can see it. I grabbed some big hooks. Got a 10-aught circle hook there. Got a couple 7-aught J hooks. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'll go as slow as I can and make it as clear as I can. The first knot we're going to start off with is a clinch knot. This is a knot that you can use for almost anything, whether you're tying on different lures, or you're fishing for catfish, or you're just joining braid to a mono leader. Pretty much anything you're doing, you can use a clinch knot. It's really fast. Once you get the hang of it, you can do it in 5-6 seconds. You're done. A really strong knot. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show it to you with a J hook. You take your tag end. This line, let's pretend this is attached to a fishing rod. That would be your standing line. The end is called the tag end. Okay, you're going to take your tag end, you're going to stick it through the eye, just like that. You're going to pull it adjacent to the standing line. Okay, just like that. Hopefully you can see it right through the eye. Then all you're going to do is twist. Okay, a lot of people take and just start twisting the hook like this, which you can do, or what I like to do, because I like to count how many times. For some reason I'm OCD like that. I like to count how many times I twist it around. So what I do is I actually hold this with my thumb and forefinger and I start twisting it around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5's enough to illustrate the point, especially with this big line. I usually go about 7 or 8 times. Once you get it twisted like that, you'll notice that I still got a loop right here where it's gone through the eye. You're just going to take your tag in then and stick it right through that loop. Now you've got it like that. Just gone through the loop. You're going to take this in then and just put it right back through here. Then you're going to need to use your teeth, unless you're just really good with your hands, which I'm not. I have to use my teeth. So at this point you want to grab this with your teeth, hold it like this. Once you've got it, at that point you're going to want to lubricate it somehow, either with water or spit. I usually just do it like that. Then hold on to this and pull. And pull on it really hard. A lot of people are knot shy. They tie a knot and then they just kind of give it a little bitty tug to make sure it's snug. If you tie this knot right, you can pull on it really hard and it's not going anywhere. Very tight knot. Then you just want to take nail clippers. Please don't try to use a knife or anything like that. Just these are the easiest way to do it, and just cut the excess off. Boom. There you go. Clinch knot. Quick, easy, strong knot. Go back and watch this as many times as you need to get it down. Just put it through, hold it, twist it, twist it, twist it, stick it back through the little hole, back over, pull it with your teeth. Done deal. Okay? Alright, next knot. We're going to do a polymer knot. Going to use a J hook again. Polymer knot, I think, is a little stronger than a clinch knot. The only reason I think that is because I have in the past seen clinch knots actually come undone on the right fish. I've not seen a polymer knot come undone yet. Maybe you have, or maybe you know somebody who has. Maybe somebody out there watching has seen that happen. I have not seen that happen. So while I like the clinch knot better, the polymer knot may be a little stronger. This is kind of tough to work with, this 80-pound stuff. All right, here's what you do. Take your 80-pound line, whatever line you're using. I'm using 80, but whatever line you're using, you want to take and you want to fold it. And you're going to want to crease it right here. Just pinch it down as much as you can. Now you just got a little loop there. You're going to take that loop, feed it through the eye of your hook. Okay, then you just bring it down. All right, it's going to be a little tough to do with this 80-pound line. So you put it through, you've got the looped end here, and then you've got the end over here. All right, all you're going to do now is just use a regular overhand knot. And I'm getting all this fishing line everywhere. Overhand knot, if I can do this. Okay, bring it around, and then pull it down, just like you're tying your shoe. Okay, now you've got this loop here. Well, all you're going to do with this loop here is just stick your hook through it. That's it. And then give it a really good pull. This 80-pound line is going to be tough to pull. There it is. All right, get it around there. There we go. See how hard you can pull on that? You can, I mean, that'll withstand. I could actually hook this onto like the bumper of a truck and pull. Maybe if I pulled on it as hard as I could snap that, but it'd be tough. It would cut my hand open before I would get that knot undone. That's a really simple, super strong knot. And you just saw how hard I pulled on it. I can pull on that as hard as I want to, and it's not going. Matter of fact, as hard as I'm pulling on it right now with this really thick line, it still isn't all the way cinched up tight. And the tighter you pull on it, the tighter it gets. With the smaller line, like 6 to 8 pound line, even 20-pound line, you pull on that one good time, it's cinched up tight, and it's not going to do anything but get tighter the harder you pull. That is a polymer knot, and the same thing applies. Take your nail clippers, clip off. I always try not to clip too much, kind of leave a little bit sticking out. The reason I do that is because that's the end of your knot. Whatever knot you're tying has an end, and that's the end of it. If you clip it off too close, it could possibly slip through and come unraveled. So just leave a little bit. Leave enough to where you've got some room for pulling, to where you can pull on tight without coming undone. That's your polymer knot. Last but not least is the snail, which is a little more difficult to tie, especially with this stuff right here. If I had some good thick braid, it would be easier to show you guys, but yeah, let me get a drink of coffee real quick. Okay, snail on the hook. I mainly use snails when I'm dealing with circle hooks. And the reason that is because it creates kind of a trigger effect up here. It causes the tip of the hook to come forward if you snail it right. The other knots, a polymer knot and a clinch knot, really just kind of suspend it there, don't do anything. But if you do a snail right, it puts pressure here, which causes the point of the hook to come forward, which is what you want, because these, the fish actually hook themselves if the knot's tied right. Okay, so let's look at a snail real quick. Always go in the front of the eye. Do not come in from this side. Come in from this side first. I'm getting a phone call. Hold one moment. It's an 800 number, so I'm not going to talk to him. All right. Come in the front. Always. That's how you're going to get the trigger effect. Come in like this. Come straight down the shank. Way, 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 way out. Okay? Like this. Because you're going to make a big loop. And then you're going to loop it around. Like that. Except you're going to make a huge loop. You're going to push that back until your loop is massive. Okay, now you got this big loop here, right? Now you're going to get it on this side. You're going to hold that just parallel with the shank. Then you're just going to start wrapping. And you're going to wrap it around. I usually wrap it 7 or 8 times. We'll just do like 6 or 7 just for the illustration. And there it is. It's around. Okay, once you get it wrapped, grab it with your teeth and pull it. Hold on. Work with me hook. pull it down, and then slide it up the hook. You got to keep that tight or it'll come unraveled. That's it. Pull it really tight. Once you get it around the hook, pull it really tight, because once again, the tighter you pull it, the tighter it's going to get. That's a snail. And then this is your excess right here. You had to have this much excess in order to make that big a loop in order to make it. A lot of people snail hooks different. This is the way I like to snail them. That's textbook. If you looked in any fishing magazine at a snailed hook, that's exactly what it's going to look like. I mean, it really, not to pat myself on the back or anything, but it really couldn't look any better than that. That's like a textbook example of it. Now, what's happened once you get it done? And once again, I know seeing a knot done, any kind of knot for the first time, you're like, what did he just do? So just go back and watch it a couple of times just so you can make sure you got it, and slow it down, whatever you need to do. What that did to make the trigger effect is now you see that the standing line is coming out the front of the eye, of the hook here. If it was coming out the back, this would not work. It's coming out the front because you went in the front. Start out going in the front. What this is going to do is once the fish takes it, this puts pressure back against that shank like that, causing it to bring the hook forward. That's going to hook the fish. Now, there is a way you can test this. I've hurt myself doing this. But if you drag this over your hand, yeah, it got stuck right there. If you drag it over your hand, it should get stuck, and it should, yeah, right there. It should hook you. I'm trying not to, because I stuck it right through myself one day. Yeah, it's getting stuck right about there. If you drag it over your hand or over your arm, or you can do it like this, pretend this is, can you see this? Pretend this is a fish's mouth. You put it in there, and he's taking off with it, and you're bringing it through, right there. It just hooked the corner of his mouth. Let's do it one more time. Fish's mouth, bring it through, bam. Got hooked right there. Now if this shank, see, that hurt. If this line was coming out the back of this shank, it would do nothing but slide right out of my hand. It wouldn't hook the back of my hand. It would slide out of my hand when I did that. It wouldn't hook anything. You're going to lose fish, and it can get really frustrating. So majorly important when you're doing a snail, if you're using circle hooks and you're wanting to catch a catfish, you've got rods propped up and you're just waiting for a fish to take off with it so you can reel down on it, make your line go in the front, not the back. Just like that. It makes that trigger effect where it makes the hook come back at you. Guys, that has been the clinch knot, the polymer knot, and the snail. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. Now, once you learn those knots, you can get out there and you can start using them. Pick out which one you like best. Everybody has their favorites, and that's the one you'll probably stick to with most anything. But good knots so that you don't lose fish. Hope this has been helpful. You guys have a blessed day. Like and subscribe.